very good evening and a warm welcome to the Business Roundup on another weekend. We are Television bring you as usual another collection of latest happenings and developments in the business arena easing your decision-making moments. I'm Hishain Ali and let's have a look at the headlines first. Government to extend free visa on arrival scheme for 4 more months, confirms Tourist Minister. New government's first foreign investment worth of $250 million will be launched shortly. Sri Lanka expects 4 to 4.5% economic growth in this year, says newly appointed central bank governor. News in detail. The Minister of Finance announced that the government has completely banned the importation of ethanol with effect from last Tuesday. Finance Minister release said that the Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa took this decision in the capacity of Minister of Finance. The release further said that as ethanol is highly produced within the country and that there is no need to import it from other countries. Moving on, Tourism Minister Prasanna Ranatunga confirms that the government is in the process of drafting a cabinet proposal to extend the free visa on arrival scheme till the April 30th. In April, Sri Lanka suspended its plans to grant visa on arrival to citizens of 39 countries after the Easter Sunday bombings that killed 258 people. In July, country added more countries including India and China after it relaunched the free visa on arrival scheme, which was implemented from August 1st. Meanwhile, Tourism Minister Prasanna Ranatunga added that the relevant cabinet paper will be soon submitted. With the gratis visa scheme coming to an end this month, the Immigration and Immigration Department urged the government to suspend the visa scheme, highlighting that there will be a loss of revenue for the department. Central Bank Governor Professor W.D. Lakshman stresses that Sri Lanka is expecting 4 to 4.5% economic growth in this year, with inflation below 4% and a higher 6.5% growth in the medium term with better policies. Newly appointed Central Bank Governor made these observations last week speaking at his maiden monetary policy meeting after assuming duties as the new Central Bank Governor.
Accordingly, Central Bank Governor Professor W.D. Lakshman says statistics on unemployment appear acceptable, but they hide issues such as underemployment, low labor force participation, high unemployment amongst educated youth, and aging labor force, and low productivity, and that these need to be addressed if the government is to realize its goal of eliminating poverty through effective utilization of labor resources. Central Bank Governor added that with the revival of economic activity, Central Bank expects economic growth to accelerate to around 4 to 4.5% and inflation to remain below 4% in 2020. He further stressed that Sri Lanka will have to follow an alternate economic policy without being caught up in between the neoliberalism intervention and Washington consensus of stabilize, privatize and liberalize. Meanwhile, answering a question raised by a journalist at the same monetary policy review, Senior Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, Nandalal Veerasinghe, noted that the Central Bank will decide imposing penalties on 7 commercial banks which had failed to bring down interest rates. Leading banks such as the People's Bank, DFCC Bank and Sampath Bank are still to lower the interest rates in line with the ceiling imposed for December 2019, he added. The smaller banks, including the Public Bank, Axis Bank, Cargill's Bank and Indian Overseas Banks, are also yet to lower interest rates, he further revealed.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa directs public sector officials to explore the possibility of gathering personal information under one data center. President explains his brainchild during a meeting with officials of the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology held at the Presidential Secretariat last Monday.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has paid his attention to bring gathering of all personal information such as national identity cards, driving licenses, immigration and emigration documents, registration of births and deaths under one data collection center. He suggests that this will be instrumental in reducing time, effort and money spent on such services at present. President Rajapaksa explains that the existing practice is to gather same information by several entities, and if this can be brought under one umbrella organization, it will greatly reduce delays and ensure efficiency. He also said that this will prevent the circulation of erroneous and duplicitous information. He further added that the interconnectivity among ministries, departments and semi-governmental organizations is vital in the development process of the country, and a high level of productivity can be achieved by networking relevant organizations. The attention of the President was drawn to assigning some of the projects currently under the purview of the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology to the ministries or institutions which are directly responsible for the outcome of the program. Minister Bandula Gunawardena, State Minister Lakshman Yapa Abeyawardena, secretaries to the ministries and several other officials were present at the discussion.
Meanwhile, elaborating further on the government's proposal to bring one national data center, State Minister International Cooperation Cecil Premajayantha assures that the data of the citizens will be managed professionally by the measure and that new laws will be enacted to preserve all confidential data.
At the moment, we don't have laws to prevent leaking of such information. This is only a proposal. Once the proposal is there, so then we have to get together, we have to get down the legal professionals, Aegis department and all that, and then we have to study how the developed countries have done this and all that. Thereafter, of course, we introduce new laws if necessary, and then amendment to the existing laws, and then only we can implement them. Now, 2 weeks ago, we had an initial discussion, and the second rounds of talk held recently, and then within next couple of days, we are going to have a larger group, ICTA, the technology, there are certain institutions who are engaged with technology transformations, and Presidential Secretariat, there's a UNDP, they are willing to assist us by giving us a technical assistance as well as financial assistance once we submit the proposal.
Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break. And welcome back after the break. The Finance Ministry announces that new government's first foreign investment worth of $250 million mixed project will be launched shortly.
Issuing a press release, Finance Ministry says that the first foreign investment under the new government of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa will be launched shortly. This investment will be made on a plot of land located between the Bere Lake and Shangri-La Hotel on Baladaksha Mawatha in Colombo by a foreign investor called Perennial Real Estate Holdings. This foreign investment project will see the construction of a 30-story commercial tower inclusive of 700 new residencies, and in addition it will also have facilities for retail and food outlets. The Cabinet of Ministers has approved the proposal made by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa as the Minister of Finance, Economy and Policy Development to facilitate investment activities for the relevant company. With the signing of the agreement soon, the land for the project will be leased out to the company, and the government of Sri Lanka will receive $43 million as the payment for the leasing.
Consultancy firm FSDI Construction Company says work on the 30-kilometer Mathura-Beliata Expressway costing 125 billion rupees is almost complete, and it can be vested in the public by February this year.
The 96-kilometer extension from Mathura to Hambantota consists of 4 main sections, namely Section 1 of 30 kilometers from Mathura to Beliata, Section 2 of 26 kilometers from Beliata to Vatia, Section 3 of 15 kilometers from Vatia to Andaravava, and Section 4 of 25 kilometers from Hambantota to Mattala via Andaravava. Consultant engineer of the consultancy firm FSDI Construction Company, Nayan Samaranayaka, says the construction work on the 30-kilometer Mathura-Beliata Expressway is almost complete, and it can be vested in the public by February next year. Nayan Samaranayaka further added that once the expressway is open, motorists from Mathura can reach Beliata within 18 minutes, and this facility will be a boon to southern industrialists and farmers as they could move their export products faster. Samaranayaka said the Mathura-Beliata Expressway also has several special features. The Hakmana-Mathura main road crosses it at Kapuduva through an overhead bridge. There is only a single interchange in it before Beliata at Hinguru Pattala. The road runs along a flyover bridge along the Nilwala Ganga basin to facilitate environmental protection, flood control and paddy cultivation activities. The expressway, which runs through the Dandeniya Forest Reserve, has an overhead animal crossing to facilitate the free movement of wild animals. Samarnayaka said construction work on the section of the expressway from Beliatta to Vattiya is ongoing, but the other sectors of the expressway from Vattiya to Hambantota have already been vested in the public.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa emphasized that a day will come soon that we will be badly stuck with foreign debts and the precautionary measures should be taken today itself by the public sector employees. President also said that the inefficiency in the state sector has resulted in creating displeasure among the public and that he will not allow any employee to be entertained with state funds and that they will have to go home. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa engaged in a discussion with the officials of the Ministry of Public Transport at the Presidential Secretariat and highlighted that unnecessary ordinances and regulations should be amended immediately in order to transform the public service. The President stressed that the process of providing services by the state sector should be easy and transparent, assuring no unnecessary burden on the public. He also stressed that if a public servant is found guilty of any misconduct, he will be punished irrespective of his position and will be stripped of the opportunity of holding any position at a government institute.
මේක ගන්නේ නැතුව පඩිය වැඩි කරන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි පඩිය වැඩි කරන්න නම් රාජ්‍ය ආදායම වැඩි කරගන්න ඕන.
Increasing the salaries of the public sector is one measure to stop taking bribes, but for that, the state revenue must go up. To increase the state revenue, the facilities at such places should be improved, and the employees must assure to increase the productivity and efficiency in the public sector. The bottom line is the honesty and the efficiency of the public sector employees. If the bottom line is not strong enough, it affects the entire system. If the public sector employee gives his maximum, he won't get a need to go for strikes. The unnecessary rules and regulations means we ourselves prevent some revenue to the government. Unless we follow this, we will ever have to depend on loans from overseas. This should have an end, otherwise we will be stuck with how to settle those loans. We have already come to a bad situation with the foreign debts. Therefore, we have to begin from somewhere. Therefore, I think today should be the day to begin it.
Dismissing the claim that the new cabinet has given the nod to permit the land next to Shangri-La Hotel for a freehold basis, State Minister of Tea Industry Development Kanchana Wijesekara stresses that the land is given on 99-year lease period and what the current government did was to accelerate the venture which was approved by the previous cabinet.
There were reports in certain media that the investment opportunity that was given approval by the Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Mahinda Rajapaksa government was to give out the land that was next to the Shangri-La Hotel on a freehold basis, which is completely false. It has been given only on a 99-year lease. And when we raised these issues in 2018, in regards to the cabinet paper that was submitted by Honorable Malik Samaravikrama, I raised two questions as to whether it will be given out on a freehold basis. And the second question that I asked was whether the party was selected through a tender process. And the minister in return replied in parliament saying that it was done through a Swiss challenge system which the cabinet proposed to select the investor. And also the cabinet decided to go on a 99-year lease period with the approval of the defense ministry. But for the last 4.5 years, most of the investments that came into the country was at a standstill because of certain people being a part of it and certain people asking for some commissions from the investors that were coming in. And what the new government did in the last month was to expedite the process of the cabinet decision taken by the previous government and to make sure the investment is smoothly operating in the country and there was no freehold land given.
And we'll be back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka says it will take appropriate measures on banks that have not complied with the order to reduce the average weighted prime lending rate for the end of 2019 in accordance with the Monetary Law Act.
Issuing a statement, the central bank said the Monetary Law Act Order number 2 of 2019 required every licensed commercial bank to reduce their weekly average weighted prime lending rate by at least 250 basis points by 27 December 2019 compared to their AWPR published by the Central Bank as of 26 April 2019 in the Weekly Economic Indicators publication. This shall not apply to licensed commercial banks whose average weighted prime lending rate reaches or falls below 9.5% per annum as at the date of this order or any time thereafter. The central bank says that several LCBs have complied with above order, and in particular some LCBs have reduced their AWPR sharply during the week ending 27 December 2019 from the previous week ending 20th December 2019 to meet this regulatory requirement. Accordingly, the overall weekly AWPR has declined by 230 basis points from 12.24% as at 26 April 2019 to 9.94% as at 27 December 2019. This is the first time since 29 April 2019 that AWPR has declined to single-digit levels. As per the order, any LCB shall not increase its AWPR from the reduced level, and it is expected that market lending rates, particularly those linked to AWPR, will continue to decline in the period ahead with regular repricing. However, the central bank says that People's Bank Commercial Bank of Ceylon PLC, Indian Overseas Bank, MCB Bank Limited, Public Bank Berhad, Standard Chartered Bank, Amana Bank PLC and Axis Bank Limited have failed to comply with the Monetary Law Act Order No. 2 of 2019. Thus, the CBLCL says it intends to take appropriate measures in relation to these banks as well as those licensed banks that have not met with the other provisions of the order to ensure that the general public continues to benefit from an efficient transmission of recent policy decisions through the financial system.
And now a detailed analysis of a review on the stock performances for the past week and a stock forecast for the coming week will be brought to you by a subject expert at First Capital Holdings.
The market showed mixed reactions this week with continuous ups and downs. Heavy activity was predominantly driven in the LOLC group based on Bloomberg and foreign country announcements. High buying interest was noted in the selected LOLC group counters, namely LOLC, Browns Investments, Browns and Company, LOFC, that is LOLC Finance, other main companies that were there. Retail activity was significantly improved with the above counters, and however the rest of the market was broadly silent with weak investor interest. Foreign investor participation was also weak during the week, while foreign outflow continued throughout the trading days. We expect market activity to slowly pick up with the release of company earnings in the following weeks. We expect the market to be on a positive momentum on expectation of stronger earnings or results from the companies, as we are registering a recovery in demand and economic growth. However, foreigners are of course likely to show selling pressure in the coming weeks as well. We expect the selling pressure to actually slow down with the positive results that are likely to come out in the company earnings.
And that's all news for today. Do join us on Monday with State of Business. Until then, take care. Good night.